You know why right now is a perfect time for a mock draft? Because the good teams have everything. Not only do they get to look forward to the playoffs right here down the home stretch, they just had the All-Star break. Team Giannis against Team LeBron? I mean, do the Bucks and Lakers need any more reminders that they're good? Meanwhile, the bad teams have all the losing, all the appearances on Shaqtin' a Fool, all the chaos with their head coaches leaving.
I apologized about it today as well.
Our pets' heads are falling off! My point is, it is time to reward the bad teams. Actually, I hate to break it to you, bad teams. This is supposed to be one of the worst drafts in years. There's no Zion Williamson, there's no Ja Morant. One expert said there might not even be an RJ Barrett, and I think he's shooting like -2% by now. But hey, you never know, so let the ping pong balls fly. In this video, we're making picks for every team that doesn't have the playoffs to look forward to. Hey guys, it's Casey Kiernan, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel, a 2020 NBA mock draft today for you on a Friday. This is our last video of the week. Hit subscribe. We come out with videos every day of the week, Monday through Friday, always dropping at 6 Eastern. Drop me a hello on Twitter at Casey Kiernan or over on IG at AM Hoops. All right, so let's get into the draft. First thing, the draft order was determined by tankathon.com. What it does is it takes all the teams that could be in the lottery and then it randomly selects them and sets a draft order based on the actual percentages. So this is the order that the teams landed in. And the number 1 overall pick goes to the Golden State Warriors. I know, it's not fair. Next year, they're going to be healthy, and similar to the San Antonio Spurs in 1997, a great team gets the top pick, and they take Anthony Edwards, a shooting guard out of Georgia. Now, they're set at guard already, of course, and they could use James Wiseman, as some mocks suggest, but I believe if they get the first pick, they'll get Edwards, who has the highest potential. And here's the reason why. I think they might want to trade whoever they pick here in a package with Andrew Wiggins. The Warriors championship window is going to open again for another 3 to 5 years, and they need a win-now player. Edwards gives them a little more flexibility in a future trade. If not, he could learn behind Steph and Clay for the future. But I'm telling you, even if they take James Wiseman at center, which again, a lot of mocks have them taking, Wiseman's gonna be a rookie. Those kinds of players very, very rarely help you win an NBA championship. So instead, I think the Warriors would want to take the guy with the highest potential in Edwards, package him with Andrew Wiggins, and get another star to go along with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. The number 2 overall pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers select LaMelo Ball, a guard out of the NBL. Darius Garland and Colin Sexton don't look like future stars, and LaMelo Ball is clearly the best point guard in this draft. Look, he's 6'7". While he's not a great shooter yet, he can make the game easier on his teammates better than Sexton or Garland can. This means that one of those current guys in the backcourt will have to move to the bench, and I think Garland may be the choice, with Sexton already playing the 2 guard right now. One big plus for LaMelo as well are questions off the court. LeVar seems to be a lot less involved these days, and although LaMelo's NBL team has won just 4 games while he's healthy, he hasn't been a distraction. Number 3, the Washington Wizards select James Wiseman, center out of Memphis. Now, most mock drafts that I've seen have the Wizards taking a guard, but if they land at 3, I can't see them passing here on Wiseman. I mean, yeah, we don't know how John Wall's gonna look when he's healthy again, but that gamble is worth taking with Wiseman on the board. He left Memphis after just 3 games when the NCAA declared him ineligible. He decided to prep for the draft instead. He is a skilled big man at 7'1", 240 pounds with a 7'6" wingspan. At number 4, the New York Knicks take Tyrese Haliburton, point guard at Iowa State. And first off, you feel bad for the Knicks, and their front office is pissed because they win under 38 games for a 7th straight year and don't get a top 2 pick. And this one's even worse because at 4th overall, the best point guard is off the board in LaMelo Ball, so they have to go with the 2nd best point guard available, and that is Tyrese Haliburton. He may be the 2nd best point guard, but it's a shallow draft, so this is a risk. New York, though, says they want a point guard. They already feel set at center with Mitchell Robinson, and at shooting guard with RJ Barrett. They've been looking for a point guard for years, and Haliburton could be it. He wasn't a big high school recruit, but he makes shots. He's averaging just about 16 points, 7 assists, and 6 boards per game in 37 minutes, while shooting about 50% from the field and 40% from downtown, so the upside is certainly there. At number 5, the Atlanta Hawks take Isaac Okoro, power forward from Auburn. Now this pick assumes that the Hawks are going to move on from John Collins after next season. The Hawks told us they don't think Collins is a center by trading for Clint Capella. Collins was a below-average defender at the 5, so his move to the 4 makes sense. However, John Collins wants a max extension similar to what Pascal Siakam got last offseason, but this move makes a payday less realistic. A lot of what he does now is just stand in the corner and watch Trae Young do his thing. If you watch John Collins, his body language suggests he isn't too happy about this marginal role. Okoro fits in perfectly with the Hawks if they move on from Collins. He averages about 13 points per game, and he's the best defensive forward in this draft. Look, Trae Young is a great player offensively. He is an all-star starter, but he might be the worst defensive player in the entire NBA. Tells you a lot about the all-star. So they need a player like Okoro who can make up for that. At 6, the Minnesota Timberwolves take Tyrese Maxey, a shooting guard from Kentucky. Obviously, the T-Wolves filled their point guard need, trading for D'Angelo Russell, and even though Andrew Wiggins' spot is vacant, they hope Jarrett Culver continues to develop in the front court. Maxey is a 2-guard with size, which they need alongside D'Lo, whose defense is more than a little suspect. Maxey is not a great playmaker, but doesn't need to be with Russell at the 1. Again, his defense is solid. He racks up steals and blocks, but the offensive contributions will be helpful too. At number 7, the Detroit Pistons take Denny Avdija, a forward who plays in Israel. The Pistons are in need at almost every position, and Denny is the best available. A big reason why he's so good for their rebuild is his versatility. Avdija has ball handling and playmaking ability, but he can play off the ball as well. Comparisons, obviously, will be made to Luka Doncic because he's an 18-year-old stud in the EuroLeague, but that's kind of unfair basically for everybody. Avdija still has work to do on the shooting side, making just 32% from downtown, but his defense has picked up, and he breaks that Euro stereotype with the toughness he brings to the court. At number 8, the Charlotte Hornets take Onyeka Okongwu, a power forward / center from USC. So the Hornets actually have more needs than you might think. Yeah, Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier are in their backcourt, but they aren't set as both guys are pretty undersized. Still, they draft Okongwu because Bismack Biyombo is hitting free agency, and it's a chance to pair him with PJ Washington going forward. Okongwu is the second best center in the draft behind James Wiseman, and he brings rim protection and almost 20 points per game in college. He may not bring size, which isn't all that important as teams are going smaller these days, but he can defend every position. He doesn't stretch the floor either, but PJ Washington is not clogging up the paint, shooting above league average from deep. At number 9, the Chicago Bulls select Obi Toppin, a power forward from Dayton. Who knows what the front office is going to look like by the time the NBA draft comes around. Fire Garpax billboards were around Chi-Town for All-Star Weekend. Bulls fans are unhappy with the direction of the franchise, and a change is coming. There are a lot of holes to fill for the new management too. Last year's selection of Kobe White plus the continued rise of Zach LaVine probably means the front court will be the target here, and Obi Toppin is the clear choice. At 6'9", 220 pounds, he's still a good three-point shooter. He's a career 47.6% from deep. The Bulls need three-point shooting. They are top 10 in three-point attempts, but bottom 10 in three-point percentage. His bread and butter, though, is finishing at the rim, so he is versatile. He needs to add weight and improve defensively, but the Bulls' above-average defense should give him time to catch up. At number 10, the Sacramento Kings select Jaden McDaniels, a power forward from Washington. Now, the Kings could get great value at the guard spot here, but they're set with De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and Bogdan Bogdanovic, who they plan on re-signing. So, McDaniels is a good pick as the second-best power forward behind Toppin, who has just taken the pick prior. McDaniels is 6'10 and versatile enough to score off the dribble, in the mid-range, and he's hitting almost 37% from downtown. There's upside defensively too. At number 11, the Phoenix Suns select RJ Hampton, a point guard who played in the NBL but is now on draft prep. So the Suns really lucked out here because there are a lot of front court needy teams behind them, and they happen to need a guy in the backcourt to pair there with Devin Booker. They had their pick of RJ Hampton, Cole Anthony, or maybe a Killian Hayes from France, but they go with Hampton because he is a better playmaker, especially over Anthony. They don't need a guy whose main skill set is scoring the ball with Devin Booker already on the floor. They do need a bigger scoring threat than Ricky Rubio though, and Hampton fits right in. He could improve defensively, which is a problem all around for Phoenix, so this is a bit of a gamble on that end. At number 12, the New Orleans Pelicans select Isaiah Stewart, a center out of Washington. Now in reality, if the Pelicans pick here, I think they should trade out of this draft spot. They need help in the front court, and a lot of that talent's already off the board. There are some backcourt needy teams who might pay up for this pick. The Pelicans don't really need a Cole Anthony or a Killian Hayes or a Nico Mannion. They've already got Lonzo Ball and Drew Holiday for years going forward. What they do need is that front court help. Derek Favors is a free agent, and they're probably not going to give Brandon Ingram that max contract he'll receive. So Isaiah Stewart does the job. He is a center to replace Derek Favors. He's not a shooter, but doesn't necessarily clog the paint for Zion, and he's a good rim protector, third in blocks in the Pac-12. At number 13, the Spurs select Precious Achiuwa, a power forward from Memphis. The Spurs' highest draft pick since Tim Duncan in 1997, and it comes in a weak draft. Still, you could do a lot worse than Precious Achiuwa. First of all, this kid can be smothering defensively, and that fits exactly what the Spurs look for in every draft pick. He's a big guy who can play either forward spot. Now this pick would have gone to a bigger scoring threat, but I believe they will bring back DeMar DeRozan. Achiuwa fits the Spurs type. As I said, he's a plus defender, and he shows potential to develop as a threat from three. And the last pick in the lottery is the Portland Trail Blazers, who take Aaron Nesmith, small forward from Vanderbilt. Look, the Blazers' needs are obvious at this point. Their backcourt, of course, locked down, and they're getting Jusuf Nurkic back from injury. Nesmith will be valuable in their front court in several ways. He's a 6'6", 3-and-D wing, and that's the biggest commodity in the NBA. He's averaging almost 24 points per game and shooting almost 50% from downtown. All right, so that is the end of our 2020 NBA mock draft lottery. Look, it's not supposed to be a great draft, but every year the experts are wrong on somebody. Kawhi Leonard wasn't supposed to be this good. Giannis wasn't even a lottery pick. So maybe one of these bad teams can get lucky in June. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.